In today's video, you're going to get to see a beautiful 1985 Chevy Monte Carlo. Hello everybody and welcome to Classic Car ChitChat. My name is Kevin. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, then welcome. I really appreciate you being here today. If you've been to my channel before, then as always, welcome back. Thank you so much for the comments that you leave for me, for your thumbs up, for you subscribing to my channel, and also remembering to hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is being released. Today you're going to meet a young man. His name is Anthony, and he has a passion for classic cars. He has an absolutely stunning 1985 Chevy Monte Carlo. It is the SS edition. He is actually the second owner of this beauty. The original owner had it for many, many years since new. Sadly, it's been sitting around for a while. He's owned it for the last 3 years, got her running into this beauty that she is today. So, without further ado, let's hop in, let's go for a drive, and let's check out this beautiful 1985 Chevy Monte Carlo SS. Okay, Anthony, rev the engine.
Sounds good.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. And honk the horn for me. Wonderful, come on out. Wow, my friend. Every kid's dream car.
Absolutely.
And you're a kid, which is even amazing.
Yeah,
Tell me what you have.
This is my 1985 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS.
Wow. And how long have you had it?
I've owned it for almost 3 years now. I bought it off the original owner in just at the beginning of the pandemic, actually. And I've basically kind of brought it back to life, sitting in a garage for 8 years, collecting dust. So the previous owner, I guess, had his fun with it. And, you know, I figured I'd breathe some new life into it. And here it is now.
So you are technically the second owner of
I am
this car?
technically the second owner.
Wow.
He purchased it. It was a demo vehicle from a dealer here in Toronto. And it was a demo vehicle for about 6 months, and he purchased it as a used vehicle technically. And then he's had it since 1986.
My goodness. Anthony, you know what's even cooler is the fact that you're a young guy and you appreciate classic cars like this.
I absolutely do, you're right. I've always had a soft spot for them. I don't know, I was born and raised with old American cars, and they just have a soft spot in my heart. Especially GM cars. I feel like a lot of the design, especially in the 60s and 70s, was just out of this world.
You know what gets me every time? It's this contour. The lines on the side of this car, it's just something so beautiful about it.
It's really nice. It's not just a square box. It does have some contour lines to it. Definitely softer than the mid-70s versions, but it's still nice that they kept it in the car.
It's such a clean look too. So you've debadged this more or less, have you?
So when I bought it, the previous owner had it painted sometime in the 90s. I'm going to probably say 93. But the stripes are all gone. The decals are all gone. The only thing that's left is the Monte Carlo logo that you see on the taillights and the front bumper. Yeah. But basically the way you see it is the way he's had it for 20 some odd years.
So when he repainted it, it was originally white as well?
It was originally white, but the only difference was the white that GM painted these was a little bit more cream colored. Okay. This is a obviously brighter white, more ice white.
Stark, yeah, it is definitely white. Very, very beautiful car. Now, the tires and the rims, not stock?
Tires are a little larger than stock, not too much bigger, but the wheels are original to the car.
Really?
Yeah. Almost everything on this car is original except for the engine.
Now, is it an optical illusion or the rear's larger than the front?
It's an optical illusion, just the way they sit.
Wow.
Yeah. Gives that
It really does look as though there's a bit of a rake going on, like the rear end is higher, but it's interesting.
GM really pushed to make this kind of like the rebirth of the muscle car in the 80s. I mean, the Grand National, the Cutlass, kind of really pushed everything back to like you know, we did a good muscle car again. So, mind you, horsepower numbers weren't the best, but
No, but it was a fun car to drive
exactly.
around,
It was a
right?
fun car compared to the 70s when your big V8
Definitely.
only had like 100 horsepower.
I mean, everything about this car. I mean, even
Yeah.
the way the front grille is, it's just such a clean look.
Yeah, now the grill's originally supposed to be black, but the previous owner had it repainted white, and it actually, I think it suits the car, but I think if I do get the car repainted, it will go back to the original grill.
Okay, to
of the
get
black.
that contrast.
Yeah, and I'm
again,
going to put the decal stripes back
Yes.
on and everything, just to give the car some more character.
So where were the original striping?
So they ran along the front bumper here on the lip,
Yeah.
and then there was a Chevrolet logo right here,
Okay.
and then they came along, followed the fender arches all the way up, and ran along the back of the car. I actually have an owner's manual or a
Do you
brochure.
really? I'd
in
love
the car.
to see
yeah,
it.
Here,
Yeah.
grab it.
That would be, yeah, it'd be kind of the way I remember them being.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you see this now, it's just such a clean look. It's hard
Yes.
to differentiate it. Yes, this is how.
So
I
there you
remember
go.
it. Yeah.
So this is an original dealer brochure from 1985.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And even had a wire wheel option.
Yes, the LS model the luxury model had a wire wheel option, and bench
Oh,
seats,
God.
obviously.
It's this one I love.
Yeah, the SS was outsold the regular model by I think 2 to 1.
Look at the stats on this thing. So 5-liter engine,
Yeah,
180 horsepower. Okay,
that's 1985. Can't blame them.
that's all right. Oh my, look at this thing.
Yep.
So where were these actually made? Detroit?
This one I believe was made out of Michigan. Yes,
Okay.
but there was a few different plants. They had one in Arlington, Texas, Michigan. I think they built some in Canada as well.
Lovely.
Yeah, and here's all the options you could get. Here's one with the T-tops just like mine.
And speaking of the T-top, now I gotta ask you, does it leak? You can be honest.
Not terribly.
Okay.
Honestly, if I were to pressure wash the car, I'd probably get water inside.
Yeah. Okay.
But I've been caught in a rainstorm once, and it maybe a couple drips, but nothing crazy.
Mhm.
Nothing crazy to worry about.
I used to have a Trans Am back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. Excuse me, with the T-roof. Leaked every time, and who cared? Like, that's what
Exactly.
Kleenex was invented
Yeah,
for, just to
exactly.
wipe it up. Oh, it's lovely. Can I have a look at the engine?
Absolutely. Let me just put this back inside. Now, this car isn't a fully spec'd SS.
Okay.
It is a true SS, but back then you still had a few option packages because you can custom order them. So this does not have AC factory,
Okay.
and it does not have
Wow.
factory cruise control. It does have a dealer installed cruise control unit, but that's not hooked up right now.
Did you rebuild this yourself?
No, that's a 350. So this wasn't the original engine. This was swapped in sometime, probably in the 90s, right after the car was painted. But I have done some work to it, you know, general maintenance. Like I said, the car was sitting for a while, so it did need a bit of work to get going again.
And when you say sitting, like here, right here in Canada?
Yeah, it was sitting in a garage, parked, collecting dust. It was, when I got it, I thought it was the original paint color because the paint was off-white.
Okay.
But you can actually see the original white here on the
I see.
on the brace
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So
So
not far off. the
Not
original
far
car.
off, but it is a touch different. So
Yes. More creamier.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. My God. She's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was well taken care of before. It's just, you know, life gets in the way for some people. So
It does. Families, kids, you know, the usual story.
yeah,
Or you will one day, but
exactly.
I'm just so
That's why I
impressed
said, you know what? Let me get this before the girlfriend or wife complains about it.
Good for you. Good thinking.
Cross it off my bucket list, so that way when, you know, think the future does come, I'm
Well, hopefully, like most of us, I'll be honest with you, as we get older, we regret the cars that we ended up selling
Yes.
to, you know, buy a house or whatever it was. So if you can hold on to it, it'd
Yes.
be even more special. How much spaces are in the trunk?
Oh, jeez. I wish my car today had this much space. Let me grab the keys.
You could have a nap in there, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Look at that. The lines on this car
Yeah.
are just magnificent.
It's not perfect, but you know what? It's good enough.
I love it. Oh, yes.
Yeah, tons of space back here.
And the California Duster.
And the
Absolutely.
California Duster, came with the original bra,
Wow.
T-top bags from GM.
Hey, here's a question. How far up did the bra actually go? Like,
It covered the
Covered
whole nose. The whole
Really?
nose of the vehicle, yeah. So,
okay.
So if I were to put it on, it would cover up to here. It would hook in.
Yes.
It hooks in
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Okay.
And around the sides, it would
Yes.
come all the way up to here.
Right on. I used to have a bra for the old Trans Am. You had to have it because it
had
was so
to,
low
yeah.
and you're just going to get chips
Yeah.
on it. But yeah, it also helps you know where the front end of the car is sometimes. But this is nice though. I mean, there is a ton of space.
Yeah, no kidding.
Very cool. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And again, original condition back here. You didn't have
Original
to do any
condition.
work?
That's everything. Only thing I've added back here is there's some chassis reinforcement bars behind the seats, but
Oh, yes.
that's it.
Okay. And with the T-top off, they fit in here comfortably?
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can stack both of them in there. No
Awesome.
problem.
Can we take a look inside?
Sure, absolutely. If you want, I can take the tops off.
I'd love to see it.
Let me grab a T-top bag.
Oh, I love the interior. It brings back memories, actually.
Yeah.
It's like that cloth.
Just close
It's
it.
comfortable.
Yeah, there's lots of space.
Right, so no power seats, none of that stuff.
No, yeah,
Okay.
and that was an option again back in the day. You could get power seats and power anything, power locks.
Yeah, you
But-
paid extra for that.
But exactly, it was a luxury option. So
So this was, if you will, the base model SS.
yeah, I would say yeah, it's basically an entry model SS. It still is a true SS. It still has all the options. It just doesn't have the full luxury options, I'd say, as the SS.
Please tell me that's the original radio.
No,
It's a retro.
it's a company makes it called Custom Auto Sound,
Oh, wow.
and it looks like an AM radio, but it's got Bluetooth and all the other modern creature
My
comforts
Lord.
that
They've done a great job, though, because it does. Honestly, I thought it was the original radio for me.
Yeah, it throws a lot of people off, but if I power it up, there's an LCD screen behind it, and it shines through the numbers.
I love the dash and the dials and everything.
Yeah, so yeah, the SS had all the performance gauges, water temp, oil pressure, battery voltage. The regular LS would only have the dummy lights, they would call them.
Right.
So basically, if something's wrong, a light comes on.
Beautiful.
Nice thing is the car's so big that I could just lay them on the hood and slide them in the bags, and off we go.
That's true, right? You're not sort of manhandling them or trying to figure out, well, how do I put this away
Exactly.
carefully? And oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Tons of
tons
space.
of space. And some to spare for groceries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And set of golf clubs and
yeah, anything-
case of beer or two, and
Everything
you're
you
all
want.
set. My Lord.
Everything you want.
Fantastic. Look at this thing. Look at the size of the door and everything. Like it's
Yeah, the doors are
just
quite
amazing.
large and quite heavy.
Original steering wheel as well.
Yes, original. Everything interior-wise, except for the radio, is original.
And I just realized something. Only 2 bars here.
That's
not,
it.
not a third one.
Yeah. No airbag either.
My Lord.
Yeah.
Standard automatic that came with the car. as
Automatic
well.
was the only option for these cars unless you lived in Mexico.
Is that right?
Yes, Mexico, the Mexican Monte Carlo
Yeah.
had a manual transmission package, which was the standard. Right.
And that was a 4-speed? 5-speed?
I think it was a 5-speed or 4-speed.
Wow.
It was. I think it was the same that was in the Camaro. And the dashboard and the gauge package was actually out of a Grand Prix.
Okay.
So it looks way different than a regular Monte Carlo,
Right.
interior-wise, but it's still a Monte Carlo, just different interior.
I wonder what the logic for that was
They
back in the day. I don't know.
The Mexican market apparently still wanted a standard, and they liked the look interior of the Pontiac more, I guess.
Yeah.
So they stuck with that.
Beautiful. Either way, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a nice car.
Okay, we should
No
go-
cup holders,
No, you don't need
But-
those. But
but there is a solution for that actually.
what's that?
If you go to any fast food restaurant now, that fits right in between there.
Oh, right.
They just give you this is from McDonald's, this one, but yeah, it just stores everything.
So you didn't cheap out and get the Canadian Tire version?
No,
like
I didn't get
everybody
the one you
else?
stick on the door sill. No.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and then glove box for all the other necessities. Owner's manual, right here.
Yeah.
Ooh, there goes the auxiliary cord.
And again, the original owner's manual.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that. My God, beautiful.
And then all the ashtrays you could ever wish for.
Of course. Never enough ashtrays.
So there's one in here.
Yep.
And then there's one obviously on the back of the driver's seat over here.
Yes.
For your rear passengers when they're sitting on their couch
What
back
about
there.
the lighters? Where are
One
they?
lighter right here.
Oh, that's the lighter knob.
got to share for the whole car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. And this console in the middle, again, all stock, original?
Yeah, stock original. Actually, the only thing that I have changed technically is the this cover. Yes, this lid, because the original one, they were prone to failing, like cracking.
Okay.
So I had it replaced, and I changed it, and that's what it is now. But yes, it is. It's basically the same, just different
So
shape.
does it flip sideways? Or
Yes,
up?
it flips from the driver's side.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this radio, if I actually get my keys here. Don't mind the buzzing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
I really like how they've done that.
yeah, it's actually really clever. And it looks almost exactly like the original.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Man, so the buttons are just decorative?
No, they actually
do stuff.
They're
All right.
preset buttons, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we should go for a little drive. don't you reckon?
Absolutely.
Let's do that. And the T-roof is
And the
magical.
T-roof, yeah,
Oh.
it's very perfect day for it too.
Hey, look at the lights there.
Yeah,
So
this is
seatbelt?
this is my, I guess, information center, if you will.
Yes.
So fasten seatbelt, the drawer jar, and then choke for electric choke, and service engine, and my high beam brights
Wow,
are there.
so well hidden.
Yeah,
Didn't even realize.
Yeah,
And on the other side, is that actually
That-
a
that's-
gauge or anything?
no.
That's lights?
yeah. This, if I had AC, would be a vent,
Oh, okay.
but I don't have AC, so no
Yeah,
vent
that's
there.
why they invented T-roofs and windows.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
And no markings for the
no
drive,
markings,
neutral?
but I have it
Oh,
up
it's
there, and it
Okay.
indicates perfectly fine where I am. So, and I obviously have a trip odometer
Right.
and a tachometer, which is an SS only option.
Is that 64,000 original kilometers?
No, it's 164. It has rolled over once,
Okay.
but I wish it was 64,000
Right.
original miles.
Okay, we will head out onto Main Street.
Sounds good. Now, another fun fact, the SS, the only reason why it exists is because GM wanted a car to beat the Ford Thunderbird in the NASCAR stock series.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So GM wanted, you want me to turn right or left?
We can turn left here.
Okay. So GM wanted a car to be able to beat the Ford Thunderbird in NASCAR, and they wanted to use the Monte Carlo. So the SS has the aerodynamic nose compared to the regular model.
Right.
And in later years, they made the Aero Coupe, which has the sloped rear glass.
Okay.
The combat drag with the rear window.
Now the spoiler in the back of the SS, is that on all the Monte Carlos?
Yes, all SSs had the spoiler.
Okay.
Now with the Aero Coupe, it was a little bit different. It was less aggressive spoiler, but it still had it.
Okay. So we just keep going straight. The sound of the engine on this thing.
Yeah.
And that's a beauty
That's
too.
I,
Yeah.
that's if I couldn't get this Monte Carlo, my next target was a Camaro.
Right on.
So I definitely have a soft spot for the cars from the 80s, but you want me to go straight or
Actually, you can turn right.
okay?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what was the very first car you ever bought, Anthony?
Bought
Yeah.
would be my 2016 Cruise, but had, I guess, my grandfather, he had a heart attack. Luckily, he's still alive, knock on wood. But he gifted me his 1990 Chevrolet Cavalier, and that was my
Really?
first car.
Wow.
Yeah, and I babied that thing. I ended up selling it when I got the Cruise,
Yes.
but it really put a soft spot in my heart for these cars.
Yeah.
And they're just so simple to work on compared to anything now.
Right on. And we'll turn left here. And getting parts and everything, not an issue, like you're able
Absolutely
to find
not.
everything.
Everything on this car, I could basically go online right now and find even reproduction parts for trim or anything. There's lots of vendors for these G bodies coming up, like especially the Monte Carlo and the Cutlass. They're very popular cars.
You said something interesting. Why was this actually called the G body? Like, what other
So-
body styles did they have?
So the G body is basically the frame that this sits on. So the Monte Carlo, the Cutlass, the Buick Regal / Grand National, they all sit on the same frame or chassis.
Right.
They have different tweaks depending on, you know, what Buick or Oldsmobile or Chevrolet wanted, suspension-wise, but and all of it, they share basically the same skeleton.
Okay.
Just the body panels change, and they called it the G-body platform, right?
Interesting. And how many years did that sort of last?
So the Monte Carlo, the G-body was from 78, late 78 to about 88.
Okay.
And that's when they produced all the Monte Carlos. And I'd say it's the same for the Cutlass and the Grand National. They discontinued them all at the same time.
She handles the bumps beautifully.
Like I said, this was marketed as a personal luxury car, so it was meant to just kind of cruise. It wasn't supposed to be a race car for the everyday, but the SS kind of brought it a little closer to that. I'd say out of all of them, the Buick handles the most firm, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
But
it's very smooth.
It's still a very smooth,
comfortable.
very comfortable car to
The
drive.
seats as well.
Yeah.
This is a car made for driving.
Absolutely.
So, do you have cruise control on this?
There is cruise control. It's not hooked up right now. I'm still working out some kinks with it.
Right.
But it is an original cruise control that came with the car, but not the factory cruise control. So it's an aftermarket cruise control.
You can turn right here. The engine sound is just beautiful.
Oh, it does sound good.
Yes.
Yeah,
It sounds great.
it does.
Absolutely.
I did have to redo the exhaust system because it was like rotted out from sitting for so long,
Yeah.
but it does sound really good now that I got it redone.
Now, do you do a lot of the work yourself?
Yeah, like only major things I haven't done myself, like the exhaust. I don't have a MIG welder or a TIG welder at home, so
Yeah.
I couldn't fabricate the tubing at home. But all the main mechanical work, like when I bought the car, I had to almost completely redo the suspension, you know, ball joints, shocks, you know, pitman arms, everything. And it's, you know, I did it in the garage on the floor at home. Good luck doing that with a car now.
For sure. Yeah, not so easy.
Yeah,
Not so
exactly.
easy. And you can turn right here.
Yeah, it handles pretty well. There are some upgrades I do want to do to it. I do want to lower the car a couple inches.
Do you really?
It sits a little high for me. It
Okay.
does. I want to lower it and maybe change the wheels. I do like to look at the originals, but they are only 15s.
Yes.
So it just might modernize it just slightly.
Okay. And make it yours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Because it's not like I'm trying to keep this completely original because the engine's already been changed and stuff like that.
So I know you said you got it off a family friend or somebody you know.
Yes, I actually work with him.
Oh, even
Yeah,
better.
so
Okay.
he told me he had a Monte Carlo because another one of my coworkers had a
Yeah.
Camaro and said, oh, you should talk
So right here.
to Mike and see if he's interested in selling because it's been sitting. Sure enough, you know, put the worm in his ear and he eventually took a bite.
Good for you. So were you always looking for a classic car, or just happened to work out? Like the stars aligned that day?
Yeah, it was kind of the stars aligned. Like I've always wanted one, but there's never been one that's in reach that I know the history of. Like, because someone could say, yeah, it's been stored for, you know, whatever, and I've never winter driven it. This car's never seen winter, and I know that for a fact. Right?
Yeah.
Because you know, when I went to go see this car, and I know friends of this guy, and he's like, yeah, that car's never been driven in the winter. He's had it since the summer. He only drives it on the highways usually. So it's a pretty good stars aligning moment for me.
Absolutely. And it's just meant to be, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
chances like that come very infrequently.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
the fact you know the history of the car, that it's been in Canada all her life, is kind of cool as well.
Yes.
And we'll turn right. So in terms of the brakes, all drum brakes?
No, so fronts are just single piston calipers with rotors, obviously, and then the rears are drum brakes.
Okay. Just
Now,
like the way they used to do it.
Yeah, I thought about switching the rears to disc brakes, but it's quite a hassle, but it would be a worth improvement on just the handling of the car in general.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, the car drives really smooth.
It's very smooth.
Very smooth. Very smooth driving car.
Like honestly, it feels like a luxury Chevy from back in the day.
Yeah.
Like even the railway tracks
Yeah.
there. Like you're floating over them.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know what? There's a saying that, you know, the G bodies have like a float to them, and some people don't like it. It's not for everybody.
Okay.
But I don't mind it. It's nice. I don't want to
think it's
feel every
great.
bump on the
Exactly.
road. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah.
Like I said, it's not a race car. It's more of a cruiser,
Yep.
right? But if I wanted to open it up, it would take off. It doesn't have a problem with that. It definitely has the power.
It's got
now.
enough power.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some modifications done to the engine that just give it a little bit more juice.
And as far as fuel, just premium unleaded?
Premium, unleaded, no ethanol. Carburetors hate ethanol, so we stay away from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully gas prices have come down slightly. But
It all seems like a good deal now. It's
Yeah.
about 50, right? Isn't that sad?
I keep telling my friends it's not about miles per gallon, guys. It's
Yeah.
about smiles per gallon,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That's
So-
a good way to look at it.
I didn't buy this for the fuel economy.
Nope. It makes you happy, and you know what? It still turns heads after so many years.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's still bad. And these are the original floor mats as well, actually.
Okay, I was just going to ask you that.
These are
Okay.
the original floor mats
Right.
from the dealer. They're a little faded, but they are original.
And I love this color too. Like
Yeah,
it
the maroon.
reminds me
Yeah.
of back in the day. That's
Yeah.
how it was done.
Everybody had a maroon interior.
And right here. Yep.
Straight.
Oh, that sound.
Yeah,
Anthony.
it's got a great exhaust tone. I absolutely love it.
Wow. So the original car had twin exhausts?
It did. It was an option with the SS. It came with the SS. Sorry.
I forgot to ask you that
Yeah,
earlier.
and
but,
it is a true dual exhaust. The original kind of is a true dual, so it goes from a Y pipe to a catalytic converter, then back out to two pipes.
Okay.
But this is true dual exhaust now.
And you put the chrome extensions on
Yes.
yourself?
Yeah.
right?
It just would have had regular steel
Yeah.
tips on it before.
I just am so impressed the way it handles all the bumps.
Yeah. It's not that rough.
Beautiful riding
And
car.
I've even upgraded the body mounts to stiffer body mounts because the original ones were rotten.
Okay.
And you know, changing them out, I thought it was going to be a rough ride, and it still handles very well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
There is something about the cars from the 80s, just the way that they handled.
Yeah, some of
It's
them.
very special.
Yeah, especially like the higher end cars. I think, you know, the Germans and the no, I wouldn't say so much the Asian cars, but the Germans especially. Their handling in the 80s was outstanding for the time.
Well ahead of its
Yeah.
time.
And even this, you know what? The suspension is, the springs were computer calculated based on the options on the car.
Oh,
So if I had AC, the front springs would be different. Versus
interesting. So they actually put a lot of thought into it.
Yes.
Unlike cars today that,
You know,
the computers are on board, so it kind of takes care of a lot of that itself.
yeah.
At the bottom there, I just noticed, so the
The-
two vents are...
Yeah, so
just-
on the non-AC version, there's floor vents just to get some fresh air in.
Got it.
It blows fresh air in on the floor,
Yeah.
just blows it in from outside.
Cool.
Yeah, and then there's a passenger and a you know,
Nice. And that's the rear window defroster.
Yeah, defroster. And then these are the only two vents in the car, but why do you need vents when you have T-tops?
True, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh my God. And the size of the door. And I love the leather strap. Right?
Yeah.
Like, how practical is this?
Trust me, it's very useful when the door weighs about 50 pounds.
No kidding. The door is bigger than my MG almost.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Anthony. Thank you. Thank you for your time today.
No
This
problem.
car is absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I met you the day in Erin Mills at the car show.
Yeah.
And you were so kind enough to make some time for me today, and I appreciate it. And the car
Thank you
is
for having me out here.
stunning. And it's even better, personally for me, when I meet young people that are into classic cars, because
Yeah.
we've got to keep the spirit alive.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Thank you for that.
These cars, like, they were people's love, like, they put their hearts into them back in the day. So it'd be a shame to see them all die out, right?
Yeah.
So
We need more people like you, Anthony. Thank
thank you.
All right.